Changemakers, and welcome to The Core, sponsored by Red Apple EdCo. This is your Everything Education podcast. We talk about current events, books to read. We interview education leaders, hear their stories, learn from their biggest lessons, and they share what they wish you knew about what it means to be in education today. I'm your host, Dr. Kia Turner. Buckle up for small seeds of inspiration that can lead to big changes in your classroom practice. Let's take a bite out of today's guest. It is Dr. Kia here at the TeacherSquared conference in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we are working on using data to improve new teacher practice. There's a ton of great people in my session, but you saw me on Twitter, and one of the people at my table was Miss Quinn Rohena.
Yes.
She is with the Relay Graduate School of Education in Denver.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And I had to sit her down and talk to her about what she's working on, what she's hoping to get out of this conference, and kind of the cool things that she's seeing in her practice. But first, you have a position change coming up.
I do. So currently, as Kia said, I work for Relay Graduate School of Education in Denver, Colorado.
Shout out to Relay. I'll see y'all in Philadelphia this summer.
And I am moving to the Director of Residency position. So that means I really get to form partnerships with our network partners in Denver Public Schools. We work both with the district and with some charter partners. And so relationship building is one of my strengths, and I really get to set the vision for what our teaching residency will look like. So I'm very excited to move into that position in the summer.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
What's one thing you really want to make sure that you do just starting out? Like one cool thing you're like, this summer, I definitely want to make sure either I get started trying this or that this is something I put in place.
Yeah, I have had the chance to talk to a couple of folks in our network who have a similar position as me. And the best advice I've gotten so far is just vision setting.
Hey.
Right. Like you can't do anything without the vision because things are going to go awry. So actually that's still really something that I'm grappling with right now. What does a positive experience look like for our residents who teach K through 12? And really taking a look at like, what is it that residents need to know in order to be their absolute best for this first year of teaching, and we all know it's really hard.
I love that. And with strengths and relationship building, helping to build that shared vision is going to be one of the most powerful things that you do going into your new position. So snaps to you.
Thank you.
So why are you at the conference? Like, what do you hope to get out of this focus on the use of data in new teacher development?
Yeah. So I was a classroom teacher for 13 years.
Okay, y'all know. Okay.
Of course, one of the things that you think about is backwards design, right? When you're lesson planning or unit planning. The reason why this conference spoke to me was we want to start, like, in addition to the vision setting, like designing tools so that you are able to start to collect data. And so I was really open to it because I really wanted to see, like, is it like we're collecting some sort of data and we're like measuring our teachers against like some other programs, or I wasn't sure what it was going to be about. But after like the morning session, I really learned that it's really about me as an instructor of new teachers. Like, what is it I can do to kind of set the vision and improve teacher practice in our classrooms. And so I want to just have the tools to be able to think about, like, what does it really mean to push our teachers forward in a really critical year where they have the chance to learn under a master teacher.
Yes, that's what we say too.
Yeah. And so like just starting from there before they're even a teacher of record, like setting that vision so that they're set up for success when they move into that year on their own.
I love that. And I think that one of the draws of a residency model is that you kind of get that year with training,
right?
Where you're like, I'm not sure if this is all the way, right. But I'm learning, and I have kind of been to a teacher. I have coaches that come in too, right?
Yeah. So
like we do at KCTR.
So what happens is they're paired what they call resident advisor at their school site.
Oh.
And so, they're working in their classrooms from day one. Not all the schools are like that. Some of them have what's called a coordinator. We also know those Denver Math Fellows. And so there's a coordinator who is responsible for like a set of teachers essentially. So my role as assistant professor of practice, like I get to do the instruction, but I also get to do some coaching and some more hands-on pieces like that. And so it looks a little bit varied at different sites, but that coaching can come from several places.
Okay, 2 questions. Then we got to go because you guys were on our break.
Yes.
Okay,
break,
so
break.
yeah, y'all know I can talk.
Right.
So, what is it that causes you to kind of continue in this work? What is it that drives you to continue to develop yourself professionally, continue to work to develop other new teachers? What's the battery in your back for doing this job? Because like you said, and like I've said several times, this is hard work.
It
is. You have to love it, and it's tough some days, but you still get up and you do it. What's causing you to get up and still do that?
Yeah, so I'm going to be very candid because I don't know how to be anything else.
Hey, me either.
I absolutely love teaching. So I was an elementary teacher, and the struggle is real. Like, so starting this profession, yes, I did, teach for America for 2 years, many years ago. We won't talk about when that was. But, it was like you have your like kind of 6 weeks of institute or whatever, and then you're like thrown into the fire. Mm-hmm. And I often tell people, kind of jokingly, but not really, like I ruined lives for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I often think about those sets of kids and like kind of like experimenting. Our kids are not guinea pigs, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wish I'd been better equipped to instruct them more. They're all now grown adults. But they're always in the back of my mind. And so as I've gone through the years and seen many sets of kids kind of grow up, it was time for me to leave for a variety of reasons. And I was like, okay, how am I in relay? Like we have the baton pass, like a relay, but how am I like metaphorically going to like pass this baton? Like I don't want anything but the best in front of all of our students. And so a way I can do that is to develop teachers. And so I was really blessed to learn about working with Relay. There's many great programs out there, but Relay really spoke to my heart. I get to do everything that I love, like instruct teachers. I get to go and work with kids. I get to be an advisor and do the relationship building pieces. And I just want to place great teachers in front of our students, and all of our kids deserve that. And so that's the battery.
I love that.
So to speak.
I love that. That's one heck of a battery.
That's
one heck of a battery.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so let's say that a teacher is still in the classroom, right? And they are in there teaching their heart out every single day. What's one resource that you think every teacher needs to know about no matter where they are? Because this is amazing professional development, you guys. Like TeacherSquared is something I think that everybody that's in any type of education leadership needs to come to. Yeah. But if you're a teacher looking at this, or if you're an administrator looking at this and you just didn't know about this conference, what is one resource that you're like, you know what, this would really help no matter where you are in your practice or where you are in the country? It can be a book. It can be, I've had people say, like, you need to use Twitter. I've had people say your greatest resource is yourself and valuing what you bring to the table. Yeah. So just thinking about one thing that you could give to a teacher who's like, I want to make sure I'm giving my best. Something I can use.
I don't know if there's a magic pill or like the magic resource, but what I would say is start simple. So I would reach out to those folks in your building who are doing a phenomenal job and have a strength in an area where you find a weakness in your own practice. So if it's classroom management, go find out that teacher who just seems to have the class like tight and right. Yeah. If it's lesson planning, go reach out to your instructional leaders in your building to get that support. If it's relationship building, get some pointers from, someone who's really strong at doing that. And basically your parents. Like your parents know your kids best. Like who else are you going to reach out to? So I would start simple. Just start with who's in your, start in your building.
That is powerful because you know what? In education, we don't often value our own skill sets enough. We don't often value either what the skill sets of the people around us are. We always, not always, but I'll say that in my classroom and teaching experience, we were always looking for someone to come in and tell us what we didn't do instead of looking around us and saying, we have a lot of the pieces here. How can we work together to make a complete picture? Which is what we're talking about today at this session. How do we figure out what we want to have happen and then clearly map it out and assess it to determine whether or not it's working.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone wants to reach out to you about questions about like Relay, how you managed to do great the other 11 years of your teaching practice, we're going to skip the first two. My first two were not great either. I didn't hit it till year 3. Year 3, I came in and I was a beast. I was like, I'm ready. Yeah. But 1 and 2, I was like, Lord, be with those children. Because I was doing the best I could. So, what is one way people can reach out to you if they have any questions?
Yeah, I'll give 2. So first, if you just want to email and learn about Denver, like Denver is a really sexy place to be right now. It's Q Rohena, so QROHENA @relay.edu. And then I can also be found on LinkedIn, so you can look me up under Quinn Rohena, and I'll pop up.
2 N's.
Yes, 2 N's.
Thank you for sitting down with us. You have been a great interview.
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Bye, you guys. I'll see you next time. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to The Core. Wherever you are listening to us, be sure to like our show, subscribe, and share the episode that's meant the most to you. We appreciate every single one of our subscribers, as do our sponsors. We look forward to seeing you next week. You can also check us out on YouTube at Red Apple Edco. If you'd like to see more video of these conversations, we have them posted there.